What's up? It's me, GameSkull, and I am back. As if I was ever gone. Anyways, it's been a whole 2 years since the last proper update video, but I'm still kicking. First of all, join the new Discord server. The last one was lost to poor Discord customer support. However, the new one is even more awesome. Besides getting AFS production updates, you can also see my other art. I don't really have a big announcement like with the last update video, but it's been so long and so much has changed little by little that I kind of feel bad about leaving you guys in the dark for so long. I've been also trying to make this video for like half a year at least, but something has always been getting in the way. Also, the last video on my page looks quite menacing. Some people may think AFS is cancelled or something, which it isn't. So instead of a singular announcement video, it's gonna be a breakdown of the timeline of production these past 3 years? Yeah, that's right, episode 1 has been in production for more than 3 years, as production began in September of 2021, right after Pilot 3 released. Man, I gotta get some better work ethic. Will we hit the 4-year mark before the episode releases? I sure hope not. A mark we will hit, however, is the 6-year production anniversary of AFS in general, since the conceptualizations of it began in January of 2019. The show has definitely improved a lot since then. Anyways, I'll just start recapping the production in chronological order now, more or less, and also saying what's coming in the near future. The video is once again split into chapters for your convenience. The Remakening. So this is just a small section for anyone not caught up. As I said, after AFS Pilot 3 released in late August of 2021, I began work on what I thought at the time would be AFS 4, but school finals took over my life. After I have got some distance from the show, I reevaluated a lot of things and decided the best course of action for me and the show would be to restart it from the ground up. To get a more in-depth view on the remake, go watch the last update video. Story and characters. After the last update video in late 2022 to early 2023, I started proper work on remaking the show, and it began with writing the plot and, by extension, the characters. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into trying to make the characters actually have personalities and be memorable this time. It was certainly difficult to make some of the characters work, considering how little there was to go off of for some of them. Later into the process, I realized some of them had nothing besides the most basic surface level stereotype descriptions, so I decided to cut some of the characters. It was honestly pretty liberating, as I really didn't know what to do with all of them. Here's the new and improved cast. Take a moment to really appreciate the new designs and poses. Let's play a little memory game, shall we? Can you name all the characters that were removed without rewatching the pilots? I bet for 99% of you the answer is no. But what you probably did notice is that I cut a whole team out. There was initially 28 characters split evenly into 4 teams of 7. Then I cut out 8 characters in the writing process, which left me with only 20 characters, which felt kinda wrong, as obviously that doesn't split into nice even teams of 7. So I added a new guy. Meet Christo. Not actually that new, he predates some of the quote-unquote modern AFS contestants. Actually found his design and basic personality descriptions while looking through old AFS files. Believe it or not, the story of the first episode did not change much at all with the removal of those contestants. The story afterwards is different, however. As I remade more and more stuff, I realized the story was the only old thing left, and the foundation that it was built upon was basically getting erased by the second. So now I got a new plan. I think it's better this way, to be honest. Out with the old, in with the new. Storyboards and the Struggle. Once all that mess was done and over with, I began to work on the storyboards in early May of 2023, which I've never done at this quality or length. Since storyboarding lasted so long, I decided to start tracking the process on a graph. The flat areas represent me doing nothing, by the way. As you can see, I did nothing for about 100 days, which is just over 3 months. That's what we call burnout. And this sort of brings me to the struggle of making the Amazing Froggy Show. As you may or may not know, AFS is my first object show, or just, project at all. I'm in no way an animation veteran or master project manager, so I'm way in over my head on this. And now that I'm finally doing it for real, there seems to be a roadblock at every single step. Write a script, you have to write out all 23 characters in detail and make a complex, interconnected web of relationships before you can write any script. Voice hack the episode? Nope, you have to cast all of the characters first. Okay, I will cast, but wait! Do you even know how the characters should sound? Oh, it seems I had the characters with my voice stuck in my head for so long I don't even really know what they should sound like. Okay, how about I draw some backgrounds? Well, who's gonna draw the location concept art? Animate something? Do you even have assets? And have you even made art style anatomy studies to make those assets in the first place? Just write a little song? Can you? It seems that on every stage of production I hit a new roadblock which halts the production every time. But, at least I'm learning something new every time. I may not be a professional who gets things done on time or whatever, but I know I have one thing many others don't. I'm no quitter. And so here I am, I developed 23 complex characters, and made that damn stupid web of relationships. I storyboarded practically the whole 30-minute episode by myself. I'm doing location concept art, developing assets, trying to learn music theory, directing voice actors, making my own rendering pipeline. So, have patience. Let me cook, as they say. After the storyboards were done, I worked on the animatics, which were honestly pretty fun, especially after the nightmare of storyboarding. But we can't talk about the animatics without first talking about voice acting. So let's talk about that. The 1000th year cast. So, voice casting has also been a bit of a pain. It actually started all the way back in October of 2021. The first time I made a casting call, I released a little video, and it got some nice results, maybe even better results than most people get. It got 61 auditions. Now, that was a really important cast. I got some very good voice actors from that, but it was not enough. No offense, but the object show community is not exactly brimming with voice talent. So that's when I decided to start looking for voice talent myself, outside the OSC. Along with that first video, I launched a page on Casting Call Club, a cool little website where you can find a cast for your projects. I thought making another page on CCC will get even less traction, so I decided to start snooping around the website, looking at others' pages in hopes to recruit someone. That was pretty hopeless, not gonna lie. In 2024, I finally decided to make another CCC page, this time without a YouTube video, and some much nicer, more polished art on the page. And wouldn't you know it, I ended up getting around 260 submissions. I got so many I had to go through them for weeks. So in the end, the fruits of my labor finally paid off, and I got a cast. I'm not gonna show everyone yet, but here's a scene from the animatic, like I promised.
How are we dead last?
And how can you ask that when you're completely out of breath already?
Well, I definitely didn't expect that I'd actually have to run this thing with everyone on the team having superpowers and whatnot.
I don't have any powers. Do you?
Nope.
Me either.
god.
Still not too late to use my awesome plan.
Well, hurry up then, because we're currently lost!
Backgrounds and environments. Right around the time of me starting to make storyboards, I decided to start designing the environments. I guess that was the start of the visual development of AFS. I started making 3D mockups and concept arts of different locations. What I was most worried about was the main location. AFS needed a place where all the shenanigans happened, and so I decided to go back to the house idea. It was honestly superior in every way, and I don't know why I was ditching fire ideas left and right. I guess it was just some kind of self-confidence thing. Anyways, here's some concept art of that. As you can see, now it actually looks like they live here and tear each other to shreds. It's something of a wasteland battlefield now. That was probably one of the first times I actually thought about and planned out an environment. Drawing it made me realize how desolate this place looks. Only 23 people reside here in this gigantic place. This made me think it would be pretty nice irony if this yellow, warm-looking place had cold ambience. Here's how that sounds with some placeholder ambience. After designing what would be in there, I needed to decide how it would be rendered, of course. Which brings us to Artstyle Changes. The background art style changed around a lot. I was experimenting with it even since 2021. There were many test drawings, and honestly, I still don't know if I have it fully solidified. In the end, this is the best mockup that I came up with, which is funny because this one was completely accidental. This is just a crusty little render that I scribbled over again and again. But the layers of crust on this image give it texture and life that I really dig. However, one thing that was pretty obvious to me is that there is no way I have the sanity to draw more than one detailed background, which is why early AFS backgrounds looked like abstract art, as I just gave up on drawing anything besides the basic shape outlines. My solution? 3D. I dabbled with it a bit in AFS 3, but now I decided to dive deeper into Blender and Toon shaders. There were a lot of tests of that too, in many different art styles. It's good for both complex environments, but also complex characters, like Crocobot or Monitor, for example. Anyways, as for the background tests, this is one of the best ones I've done. I've rendered this one in a flat projection and it's almost one-to-one to the concept art. And then came the attempts to make the whole house, but this is still kind of work in progress. It's really hard to make your own rendering pipeline, but the fact that the rendering in Eevee takes like 10 minutes for each visual test certainly isn't helping. The character art style changed quite a bit too. This goes back to late 2021 as well, just after the release of the third pilot. I was not that pleased with how the episode looked. The lack of planning in the new assets was pretty obvious, so the first thing that I got to right after finishing the episode was anatomy studies in my art style. I also updated the body assets, really trying to get to the heart of the art style. Later in 2023, when I got back to making AFS, I redrew the characters once again. Somehow that was the most significant change to the art style. Maybe some time away from AFS had a positive impact after all. Anyways, another not so great thing that maybe had a positive impact in the end was me drawing almost all of the storyboards. Drawing the characters over and over so much had made me iron out the new designs, which is what we have today. They're sort of chibi-fied now. It's definitely a real word. They're shorter and got thicker limbs. I think it looks pretty good. And obviously we can't talk about changing designs and art styles without talking about another ever-changing aspect, the logo. Would you look at that? The logo went through quite the transformation over the years, won't you say? Music journey. Okay, so obviously someone's gonna make a banging soundtrack for this banging show. And who else if not me? Listen, just about every skill at my disposal I started training when I started making AFS, and I started learning them specifically for AFS, like my animation, editing, writing skills, etc. One of those was music that I started doing all the way back in late 2020. Obviously you don't really get good at that immediately, and my first attempts were not that good. But by the time AFS Pilot 3 was releasing, I was either feeling confident enough in my skills or just so tired I didn't really give a damn anymore. Either way, that episode featured some of my music. Here it is.
Oh my god, I said not now. I guess I can share my screen to another if you want. What? Shampoo, that's not something you can control. You can't just share your screen time. So you're blaming him for something you can't
But now it has been 3 more years. Have my skills improved at all? Well, I think I can safely say they have. I have also started making music under a new name, Meet Not Quite Finite. And let me tell you, Not Quite Finite has been getting up to some stuff, even though on the surface it doesn't appear that way at all. I have been doing music commissions, yo. All of that music, along with the AFS soundtrack, will be releasing on the Not Quite Finite YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that and sub to the channel. There's also a Bandcamp account. Bonus! Okay, so time for some IRL stuff. I promise this tangentially relates to AFS. As you can see, a lot happened since the last video. I am now a completely different person pretty much, but that's besides the point. Anyways, I got tired of sitting at my computer all day, as you can probably imagine. I worked for years developing this dream cartoon, this amazing little world, but as soon as I turn off the computer, it all just disappears, as if it's only in my head. So I decided I want to make my little production a little more physical, a little more analog, if you will. So I wanted to turn my room into the AFS studio, and I didn't want to release the video until that happened, but that never ended up happening. In the end, it was just sort of underwhelming. I just bought some office supplies that will help me in production. Mainly a printer and a cork board that I haven't even put up. Well, at least now when I go to sleep, I get to see these little critters on my wall. Anyways, a much more important IRL update is that music commissions have been getting me some real cha-ching cash money, yo. And I've been saving up for a new computer, finally. No longer will I have to bear animating at 8 frames per second. What's to come? Okay, so time to wrap up the video. You're probably wondering, how much longer will you have to wait? I'm hoping to release in the first half of 2025, but as I said, I'm hitting roadblocks that stop the production for months, every step of the way. So, The road of production is a bumpy one, so buckle in, folks. Once again, join the new Discord server for all the hot new updates on development. I try to post there as frequently as I can. Either way, it's more frequent than my YouTube uploads. I do hope that I can make more frequent uploads on YouTube as production continues though. Here's what I got in the plans. A test animation with brand new assets, an actual scene from the episode with new voices and all, once we get to animating finally, a short breakdown of said scene, and an episode trailer, mayhaps even. Maybe there'll be some more stuff, I don't know yet, but that's all for now. Anyways, see ya, bye bye.